And workers in the timber industry are growing more concerned about their livelihoods with mill closures like International Paper in Georgetown and the WestRock plant in Charleston. South Carolina loggers have been scrambling.
ABC 15's Caitlin Richards joins us in the studio tonight after going to timber roundtable discussions with Clemson University, all considering the ecology around the coast and forest science. Now, Caitlin, what was really the biggest concern that the timber industry is facing in South Carolina?
Well, there are a couple things at play. Now, I'm told the Southeast is the world's fiber belt, and we grow pine trees better than anywhere else. Forestry experts today tell me we can continue doing that, but the infrastructure needs to be in place in order to keep that going in the wake of paper mills closing. The Forestry Commission places timber production as the top job provider in South Carolina. It contributes more than $23 billion to the economy.
A lot of people are shocked to hear that, but that's the truth. The number one industry by payroll. The problem is we have lost markets for our pulpwood.
Pulpwood is used to make paper and other products. With the International Paper Mill shutdown, along with the WestRock site in Charleston, he says they've lost markets for pulpwood.
If you lose your market for pulpwood, you really can't economically grow any timber in South Carolina.
Because of the mill shutdowns, data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis shows South Carolina saw an 85% drop in product value for forest ag products. I asked if there's been any action to update the Charleston port for wood products.
I've tried to, the Ports Authority is not interested in doing that. I wish they were, but they're not. But I have started looking, and I know the industry started looking at some of the private terminals in Charleston. There are private terminals.
With talks of the International Paper Mill site turning into a biomass plant, I also asked if forestry officials would support that.
Yes, I mean, it would be a very important source of a market for pulpwood. And you already have a generator there, multiple generators there. My understanding is the individual in looking at buying that would add more generators that would use pulpwood and then would sell that energy right into the grid at the Winyall generating station that is run by Santee Cooper, but could sell energy onto the grid right there.
But without the necessary infrastructure, industry leaders say there's cause for concern.
There's good reason to be concerned, but we know that there are markets that will buy our pulpwood, but we need to have infrastructure that enable us to capitalize upon those markets. We need to be able to ship via ship, because that's the cheapest way to carry wood chips or pulpwood is by ship. We know there's markets overseas for that.
Campson says his biggest concern right now is time. He says when you have logging crews and timber owners who can't bring their product to market, they're going to have to just shut down. And he says they're not going to come back. In studio, Caitlin Richards, ABC 15 News.
Now, we are told that the next step to keep the state's timber industry afloat is to find markets for pulpwood. Industry leaders say they fear this is not happening quickly enough.